Since we don't have much time as parents, I'm always looking for the easiest way to do things. And one of the easiest ways to bring mindfulness to our children is through reading storybooks. Many of us are already reading to our children in the evening before bedtime. And so bringing in a few books on mindful lessons for children is a very easy integration. Now, 10 years ago, when my children were young, there really weren't that many books for children in the pre-reading age. But I'm happy to say, 10 years on, there are dozens and dozens of wonderful books with great illustrations and storylines. For example, here's Moody Cow Meditates, which has an excellent narrative about a cow who's having a very bad day. His grandfather teaches him how to practice meditation with a calm down jar. And at the end of the story, there are instructions on how to actually make this calm down jar. So if you could imagine having your young one snuggled up against you as you're reading this story, and it's all about this cow's experience and how he benefits from meditation, and then there's a craft at the end, your child will be very excited to actually go and make that craft and try that meditation. So there are a couple of benefits to beginning with storybooks on mindfulness. One is that our children get to come physically close to us and snuggle up against us as we're reading. And so they're going to have a very positive association of love and warmth and togetherness, pairing that with mindfulness and the lessons learned from these books. Another benefit is that very often as parents, we are telling our children things throughout the day. We're highly directive. We're telling them, do this, don't do that, stop doing that, go get that, put that away. So you can imagine that if we're also incorporating some kind of lessons or teaching around mindfulness, it might inadvertently get bundled together with all this parenting stuff that we do. And so our children might begin to associate mindfulness, when it comes from us, with either control or some kind of judgment. So to prevent that, just in case, when we read storybooks, it basically offers a third voice, a voice of a teacher that is not our own voice. I hope you're excited to try this out. If you're looking for a list of titles, you can visit the mindfulfamilies.net, where there's a very complete bibliography. And if you see all these titles and think, oh, I can't possibly afford all these books, don't despair, because many public libraries are carrying these books and you can borrow them directly from your library or through the interlibrary loan system. The second way that we can introduce mindfulness to our children, again requiring very little effort, is through music. Children love songs, and fortunately now there are quite a few good songs that share something about mindfulness or some of the values that we hope to impart to our children, such as generosity or kindness or caring for the earth. The beauty of songs is that it gives children another way to joyfully engage in these topics and to allow some of that learning to sink into their minds at a whole different level. If you'd like a list of songs related on these topics, you can go to the mindfulfamilies.net website and go to the songs page, where you'll find links for either listening to or downloading many of these songs. Create a playlist and then play them on car rides or while you're cooking or while the children are playing. Now please bear in mind, you're going to hate these songs. Who likes children's songs when they first hear them? So they will be irritating to you, but they are going to grow on you, and before long you'll be humming right along with them. Now for our older kids, our tweens and our teens, music and storybooks aren't quite where they're at, so we take a different approach. Fortunately, these days there are quite a few apps that provide guided meditations for teenagers, and even really for children. I know quite a few families whose teenagers are using these apps, particularly before bedtime or before an exam, and they say that it's really helping them. One thing to bear in mind about tweens and teens is that they are much less inclined to learn mindfulness or anything related to meditation from their own parents. This is a time of life in which they're individuating, and so it's very important for them to be able to learn and practice with peers and from another teacher. I'd like you to know that there are actually quite a few teen retreats, teen workshop series, and teen mindfulness events. If you Google your local area, you might be surprised by what comes up. Local libraries often offer workshops, as do local universities, and sometimes mindfulness is being offered in classrooms in schools, so you might ask your child about that. I highly recommend that teenagers take a mindfulness retreat, and there are quite a few offered throughout the country. One organization called IBMe, me.com, provides wonderful retreats in the wilderness for teenagers, so check them out. Bedtime is this beautiful transition between the busyness of the day and then our quiet rest at night. And many of us families have built-in routines and rituals to help our children transition from day to night. So we can draw on this progression by inserting a short period of meditation somewhere in there. We could do a mindfulness meditation, but I would also like to suggest a loving kindness meditation. Children love loving kindness meditation. Many families that I've known have integrated a short loving kindness meditation at bedtime with their children and reported that their children absolutely love this practice and they request it every night, as have my children when they were younger. So let me say a little bit more about how to practice loving kindness at bedtime with our children. The way loving kindness meditation works is that it's built on several simple phrases that help direct our attention so that we're generating an intention that is loving and kind. So we use very simple phrases such as, may you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be safe and protected. Then we do these phrases for a series of categories. In the Buddhist tradition, we begin with ourselves, may I be happy. Then we offer loving kindness to someone we love, may you be happy. Then we extend this loving kindness to people we don't know, to our enemies or difficult people, and finally we extend it out to all beings everywhere. With children, we need to simplify the practice a little bit. The phrases I've used with my children are, again, may I be happy, may I be healthy, and then we use the phrase, may I be safe and cozy. There's something about the word cozy and bedtime and blankets that just works. And then for our categories, we do ourselves. We offer loving kindness to a babysitter or grandma or a teacher, somebody close to us, somebody we know. We offer loving kindness to something in nature, so a rainforest or panda bears. And then we offer loving kindness to all beings everywhere. Before the meditation begins, I ask my children to pick one person and to pick one thing from nature that they'd like to practice loving kindness for. And then we start our meditation. So I would tuck my children in. Fortunately, they were both in the same room, for many years. And then I lay down somewhere. We had a night light on, so there was a little bit of light. And then I would have my children take a few deep breaths in and exhale, loudly. They love that part. And then I would ease them into the meditation with some script like snuggling into our blankets, letting our bodies melt into the mattress, just letting go of all the worries of the day, becoming soft and heavy and relaxed. Now we begin our loving kindness meditation. So we think of ourselves and we think of our inner goodness and the ways in which we were kind today, and we wish for ourselves, may I be happy. May I truly be happy. I wish for myself all the happiness in the world. And then we would extend it to good health. May I be healthy. And may I be safe and cozy. And then so on through the next category. May grandma be happy. And may all the rainforests be happy. And then may all beings be happy. It took maybe 3 to 4 minutes, and boy did they sleep well after that meditation. So to review what we've learned today, we've learned about the benefits of storybooks and songs for introducing mindfulness to our children. We've also learned that for our tweens and teens, we can use apps, peer groups, workshops, and retreats. And we've learned that we can integrate loving kindness meditation at bedtime, particularly for our younger children.